third part of the book is about the Centenary Race to the South Pole. My wife, Kim, is a bit of a nutter as well. She's an attorney by trade, but she also loves running. And she decided after I got back from my solo row that that she had built up enough time credit, and it was her time to go and do something. So her idea actually started off was she was going to run the entire perimeter of South Africa a marathon a day, which is 6,700 kilometers, which is very far. So I managed to talk some sense into her, and she decided, and it was also a time thing, it was going to take too long. We decided that she would just run the coastline of South Africa, mountain bike the inland borders, and then kayak the southern border of Namibia, 615K. So still 6,700, but she did a triathlon around South Africa. We're busy cycling past a farm, and I'll never forget this. The farm's name was Temurungon. How's that for a farm name? Up in the northwest province somewhere. We're busy cycling. I had my cell phone with me, and I don't know why, because there'd been no reception for days, and it was on. Get to the top of the hill, and the phone rings. And it's Bram Malherbe. Bram's one of the two guys. Anybody not know Bram here? Okay, well, Bram's one of the guys that ran the entire length of the Great Wall of China. Him and David Greer, and then also ran the coastline of South Africa. Phones me, he says, Pete, I have an incredible opportunity to go down to Antarctica, form a two-man team to race to the South Pole. Do you want to be part of that team? In a nutshell. I said, Bram, are you completely nuts? Okay. Of course I want to be part of that team. I mean, who in their right mind wouldn't? I said, but by the time we finish this expedition, until we have to leave, we have 3 months in which to do training. So as long as we can do some training, I'm in. So we went to Iceland, Longitudinal Glacier, second highest glacier in Iceland, and we spent 10 days there doing some polar survival course. And it was absolutely amazing. It was a blizzard the whole time. Talk about baptism of fire, it was baptism of ice. That was pretty much it for the whole time. Didn't get much better than that. So our skiing was very limited. After this was the very first time I'd cross-country skied pulling a sled up at Longitudinal Glacier. And you can see lots of crevasse fields around there. You don't want to be skiing in those kind of conditions too much. So after this, we went to France, went to a glacier called La Motte, which is 3,300 meters above sea level, which is perfect because that's the height of Antarctica pretty much on average. I just love this photograph. This is coming down from the mountain at the end of one of the days, and that's pretty much why I used that photograph. And then Bram and I spent a whole lot of time pulling tires along beaches. 2 tires was not enough, although we thought it was enough at the time. If we had tried to equate it to what we were pulling in Antarctica, we would have added another 8 tires on top of that, for sure. People often see that photograph and they said, geez, the wheels fell off a long time ago. And then we were ready to go down to Antarctica, and we flew down to Antarctica on this plane, it's a Russian Ilyushin aircraft. We had 2 days in the Russian Novo base to get ready, pack all our stuff. This is an interesting thing. Professor Tim Noakes said that we'd be using between 10 and 15,000 calories a day. It's a lot of energy, that. A person who runs an average comrades, like let's say 9-hour, 10-hour comrades, is going to use about between 8 and 10,000 calories. Now, we weren't going to be running a comrades every day, but because up the high plateau, you're already operating very low temperatures, minus 35, minus 40 degrees, sometimes colder. Your body's using a lot of energy just to stay warm. We were trekking 16 hours a day with 2 15-minute breaks in between. The 15-minute breaks were there really to have a break, although they were the toughest part of each day. Because once you stop in minus 45 and the wind's howling past you, it gets very dangerous. Okay, so you really have to look after yourself in that time. That food that you see there, that is our day pack food. So we'd be trekking and we'd be eating that food, and then when we sat down for our 15-minute breaks, we'd sit on our sleds, put jackets over us, the big down jackets. You don't want to be trekking in those big down jackets because you actually get hot, or you can get warm in those jackets, and then eat your food. Now, try and eat 10, 15,000 calories a day in 2 15-minute breaks. Okay, you'd pretty much spend a whole day eating if you had to eat normal food. So we had to impregnate our food with something. In the first 2 rows, olive oil. 100 mils of olive oil is equivalent to 900 kilocalories. It's about a 4-course meal, maybe more. So 3-4 times a day while you're rowing, you've got a little cup, olive oil, drink it down, mix it with your food. So all your freeze-dried food, you've got olive oil in. Anybody here got given cod liver oil as a child? Yeah? Quickly, hands. All right. Also giving your age away. How does it make you feel? Does it give you that funny, knotty feeling in your stomach? Yeah, I can hear that it does. Okay, olive oil does that to me now. So when Brahm and I chatted about this race, I said to him, whatever we do with the food, Hayika olive oil, no more olive oil. We're going to do something else. So butter. So everything that you see there is infused with butter. So crushed nuts with butter, biltong, so half. So the biltong that we took was half fat, half meat. Professor Noakes would be very chuffed about that. Crushed up with garlic butter, normal butter, herb butter, etc. I'll never forget, about 3/4 of the way through the race, sat down on my sled. I'd run out of my day pack food. I'd already lost probably in the region of about 12, 13 kilograms of body weight, so I was quite skinny at the time. I'm skinny now. I'm the heaviest I've ever weighed. Yeah. And so sat down on and I'd run out of food. And I turned to Brahm. It was cold, really cold. And I turned to Brahm and I spoke to him from the side. I said, Brahm, have you got any extra food? Yeah, he said, yeah, sure, Pete. And he handed me this thing. And I took it and I put it in my mouth, only to discover that it was just a block of butter. That's all it was. But I'll never forget sitting there, eating it, going, this is just the best thing that I've ever eaten in my entire life.